What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we are here on Duet Night Abyss to discuss the Nocturnal Echoes. Now, this is the weekly content that we're gonna have as a weekly reset in Duet Night Abyss, guys, and I wanted to actually go over each of the boss stages that are available on launch, and also talk about which, weapons and which characters I think are gonna actually be, viable and worth actually getting from this weekly stage. So if you guys do enjoy videos like this, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as we recently hit that 2,500 subs on the channel, and we're continuing to grind out Duet Night Abyss. We have a bunch of videos coming out for all these stuff in the game, guys, and I'm going to be getting soon to the end game as well, so that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And make sure that you guys have post notifications so you don't miss out on future videos and streams on the YouTube channel. Now, with that out of the way, guys, let's hop in and let's talk each of the actual stages and explain how it's going to work. So as you guys can see right here, I'm going to remove my face cam just so you can see the little image here for Sibil. But you have 5 different weekly stages that you're going to be able to clear in Duet Night Abyss. As you can see as well, it also says the remaining attempts for claim are going to be 5 out of 5 times for your week. So that means every single week you have to spend your 5 clears so that you're getting the most out of your rewards every single week. Now, just as an example here, if we go to the start challenge for Sibil, it actually does say that your first clear rewards are not going to count for the actual 5-time clears, guys. So if you actually go over to this stage right here, which I'm going to go in game now to, I'll show you guys how it kind of works and the first clear bonus that you're able to actually get as well. So yeah, if we go to the start challenge right here, you can see I only have the first 3 difficulties unlocked at the moment. And as you guys can see as well, the reward table pretty much tells you exactly what you're going to be getting per difficulty stage that you are doing. You can see here on the first difficulty at level 30, you're only going to be getting 2 of the Ring of Severed Fear. And then if you go to level 40, you're going to be getting 3 to 5 of the Shackle of Lone Wolf. And then if you, keep going down here, you get to Beth, which is going to be her secret letters. You have the dual pistols, the Sacrosanct. This thing is going to be super crazy, and we'll talk about that. And then we do have, I think this is the grenade launcher, the Stellar Finality. And then at the very end here, you do have the weapon that you actually use late in the story when you do get to Fantasio. Spoiler alert, you do get to test this weapon out, and it is pretty solid as well. So as you guys can see, depending on the level that you are clearing of the weekly boss, you are actually going to be getting these rewards, accordingly, right? 3 to 5 drops of the secret letter for Tebeth, 3 to 5 drops of the secret letter for the Shackle of Lone Wolf, etc. And so you guys are able to see that you're able to get these rewards as you are doing your stages. You can do it on any weekly boss, guys, but the thing is, it's going to be 5 out of 5 for all 5 of the weekly bosses, meaning that if you do one stage of Sibil, that is going to take it out of your 5 out of 5 for the week, so you're only going to have 4 out of 5 when you do maybe the Hellfire boss or even the Psyche boss. So just bear that in mind, that when you are doing your weeklies, you have to kind of commit to one of the things that you are planning on getting. So what we'll do now, guys, is now that I've kind of went over the system and how it works, let's talk about some of the really good weapons and characters that I think you guys might want to actually look forward to and try and kind of grind out from these weekly, boss stages while they're available for the first coming, like maybe first 2 weeks as well. All right, guys, so hopping into the actual Sibil one right here, and in terms of the weapons that I think are going to be really good, this one right here, the Sacrosanct Chorus, is actually going to be an insane weapon. So for the actual passive right here, critical chance plus 50% increase to the base, and then dealing critical damage with this weapon grants 6.2% multi-shot for 12 seconds up to 10 stacks. Effect is removed when switching weapons. So I mean, for you guys that don't know what multi-shot is, anytime you get above 1 multi-shot means a second bullet has a chance of actually hitting the target in 1 shot, which means you can technically double your damage if you were to have 2 multi-shot on this weapon. And so that's absolutely absurd, and it's a crit dealing weapon as well with fairly good base crit stats. So this is going to be a really good weapon, at least from the Sibil one. And then the character here that you're able to get at level 50 for Sibil is Tebeth. Tebeth is going to be one of the best farming characters for just grouping up enemies, because of the fact that she's able to pretty much like take the tentacles and get up to 2 enemies per tentacle, and she gets up to 18 of them, means she can pretty much lock down a bunch of enemies in farming, and it's going to be very easy to take them out with a character like Tebeth. So in my recommendation from the Sibil boss, guys, is the level 50, and if you're able to do level 60, the level 61, because the level 70 and level 81s are going to be a little bit too late to actually go for. And then the level 40 is not going to be that crazy with the Shackle of Lone Wolf, at least right now. because the passive here is only really gonna, you know, help for a hydro character in general. All right, guys, now discussing the other difficulties for the other weekly bosses here, we can go to the Crystalophile here. So let's actually go over to him, and we'll talk about exactly what he's able to sell as well, or, you know, able to get from the clears. And you guys are going to be able to acquire some of these materials as well. So let's actually go over here. We're just going to press F, and this is what you're able to get from the loot table. So you have on the first difficulty, again, nothing crazy. On the level 30, the level 40, you do get the Vernal Jade Halberd. We do also get Yale and Oliver at the level 50 stage. So yeah, I mean, that is available, but I don't think anything there is really that crazy. The Viridis Reefs, I don't think this one, I mean, yeah, charge attack with this weapon grants 44% attack speed. That could be pretty good. I mean, it definitely depends. This is another whip sword. I'm right now, I'm not really 100% sure on how well this would perform, but it is at the level 60, which is pretty, you know, attainable. I mean, you know, for me right now, I'm not really at that point as well, but like, you know, once I get to that trial rank level 45, I'm going to be able to actually attempt this and maybe get this weapon and actually grind it out. But yeah, from the Crystalophile though, honestly guys, especially early on, I don't even recommend really doing any of these. The Jade Halberd here, if you actually look at it, is not really that crazy either. I mean, attack and then deals damage to targets afflicted with bonus effect. Nothing super crazy with that, honestly. So honestly, the Crystalophile right now, at least early game, is not really going to be worth your weekly attempts in general. The last two items that you're able to get though from this, guys, is Truffle and Filbert at level 80, which is pretty nice. But again, you already have your one copy of Truffle and Filbert, and you don't really need to chase dupes in my opinion. And then at the level 70 here, you can see they do have the grenade launcher with the, like, it's like a chainsaw in a sense, right? This one is going to be actually very good, and it is able to have a bunch of crit chance and multi-shot too. So this is going to be a very good weapon, but again, this is like later game. This is level 70 for the weekly boss, so none of you guys are really going to be able to get to that unless you crazy grind the rest of this week and actually be able to do the Crystalophile at level 70. So right now, I'm not really going to recommend that, but that is a weapon that I think could be insane if you're able to actually grind for it now and be able to get it. All right, guys, now moving on to the Psyche boss here. In terms of the actual rewards you're able to get on this one, at level 40, you're actually going to get the Wandering Rose, which, I mean, from the passive of the Wandering Rose right here, when performing a charge attack, there is a 28% chance to reduce resonance support cooldown by 3%. So, I mean, that's not anything like super crazy. It's only really going to buff, you know, support characters with a resonance weapon, which I feel like is super niche if you are, you know, running like a Berenica as your like combat AI, when you probably wouldn't be doing that anyway. But I mean, there is that right there. I mean, again, not something I'm really going to recommend. Rhythm is available as well at the level 50, and Rhythm is a fairly good just electro like AoE DPS. I wouldn't say she's going to be like a top tier single target, and she's more so just going to be kind of the level of like Rebecca, but maybe even a little worse than Rebecca for just like general farming stuff. So honestly, I'm not really going to recommend you like push for this character right now, but she is available if you do like her at the level 50 of the Psyche boss. And then at the level 60 here, you do have the single pistol, the Sacrosanct Decree, and in terms of the effect on this one, it's actually pretty solid if you run this alongside a really good melee weapon. Because you can see here, it gives multi-shot, and then when this weapon triggers a bonus effect on hit, increases weapon melee damage by 35% for 12 seconds. And that is actually a really good effect as well. So overall, I mean, you're gonna have, you know, a fairly nice effect here, especially if you run this alongside a really strong melee weapon to boost. Now for the level 70 and level 80 here, guys, on the Psyche boss, this weapon right here, the Exiled Thunderworm, was one of the best weapons in CBT2. The reason why this is one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion, and they did actually nerf this, by the way, so on release it is a little bit worse, but it does have trigger probability 75%, fires a beam attack that ricochets off target and hits up to 4 enemies within range. When an electro character triggers bonus effects with this weapon, the user gains 45% skill damage for 10 seconds. So this weapon's going to be really insane on Rhythm, on Sibil, on Yu Ming when he's out. This is going to be an insane weapon, and just in general for any other character that's not an electro character, they're still going to benefit just from the weapon being a insane AoE weapon. Beam attack that ricochets off targets and hits up to 4 enemies. In the beta, this gun was just absurd, guys. Like, when I did use this thing, it shredded enemies. And if you guys have played Warframe, you'll know a weapon like the Torrid Incarnate, it does the exact same thing where it chains to other enemies and it does AoE damage like that. So this weapon, I'm going to keep my eyes out on. because it's just a very good weapon, and you know, I'm thinking it's going to be one of the best weapons at the end of the game in general, just for farming and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking out for this one, and I'll probably farm this one on my week 2 when I'm able to actually do level 70. Yeah, and then for the level 80 here, guys, this weapon right here, the Submerged Serenade, is actually a weapon that reflects the projectiles back to you and has infinite ammo in that sense. So you can see here that for the max ammo it's 10, but it doesn't have any like actual, like, I think I would mention the magazine here. Here, let me go to the Exiled Thunderworm. But I think, yeah, so magazine capacity, if you look at the Serenade, it actually doesn't have a magazine capacity. It only says max ammo. So this gun has infinite ammo and sends out projectiles that come back towards you. So it does damage going forward, and then it does damage coming back. So this weapon, definitely look out for it as well. Very good crit weapon at the end of the day. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty strong, but it is a level 80 clear on this weekly boss, which is a kind of later game, honestly. So not something I'm going to say, you know, you guys can really do right now. All right, guys, now moving on to the Hellfire boss here. This is spoilers for the story, by the way, but Hellfire is one of the bosses. And yeah, I mean, you're going to have access to Hellfire at level 50. So if you do want to get this character, she is a very good DPS, the only character to have taunt in the game. And yeah, I mean, she is actually very, very strong in Duet Abyss right now. We do also have her signature melee weapon, which is literally tailor-made for her. Gives her max HP. Pyro character takes damage, grants 15% skill duration for 8 seconds. So if you actually want to grind Hellfire, you can do it at level 40 and level 50 if you're grinding these 2 difficulties of the Hellfire boss, which is pretty nice and definitely attainable for a lot of people early game. Now, also, there are some other weapons here at level 60, 70, and 80. For level 60, guys, you are getting the Sacred Verdict, which is a pretty good crit shotgun. You can see here, fired projectiles track the crosshair, and when dealing damage with this weapon, the farther the target, the higher the damage, up to a maximum of 45%. And you can see here 20% crit chance, 200% crit damage with 62.5% crit damage increase as well, which is really good. So this is not a bad weapon as well if you are looking into like a tracking shotgun, which is actually pretty good. Now the next weapon here is actually going to be the Embla in Florence, which is a bow that tracks enemies as well. So a lot of tracking weapons here on the Hellfire boss. But again, this one's going to be a level 70 drop, guys, so a little bit harder to get. But yeah, it's still going to be very good though. You can see while charging, the weapon gradually locks onto nearby enemies, and upon release fires tracking arrows at all locked targets, and when a Lumino character deals skill damage, grants 35% skill damage as well. So pretty good for buffing a Lumino character while being able to deal a lot of damage itself, as the bow is, you know, fairly good by tracking enemies. And then the final weapon here, guys, is going to be the Arc-like Apocalypse, and this is the weapon we're actually getting for free at level 45. I talked about it in my secret clues video, where you actually do get these secret clues at the level 45. You are able to get this weapon for free as long as you do get that trial XP rank, and it's going to be a really good support weapon. So it's going to give you skill duration for your character, and landing a critical hit with this weapon randomly grants other allies one of the following effects of either 10% attack, 10% defense, 7.5% skill damage, or 10% skill duration. So this is going to be really good on a character like Truffle and Filbert, where they're already going to be buffing the team, but now they're going to be buffing it by either, you know, boosting it like a damage stat or a tanking stat. And then moving on now, guys, to the final weekly boss that is available. This one is mega spoilers, by the way, if you guys are not at this point in the story. But yeah, this is going to be the rewards for Lisbel right here at level 50, as you can see. You do also have the weapons here for Sacred Favor, which is pretty solid as well. It's going to be a charge attack katana. So if you are looking into that type of thing, and it has really good crit stats as well. So, you know, if you are into melee katana type builds, this is going to be a very strong weapon. And Lisbel, again, I wouldn't say this is worth farming though, because of the fact that Lisbel is already accessible in the roguelike game mode, guys. So honestly, I'm not going to really suggest you know, use your secret letter or your actual weekly attempts on this secret letter. But it is available if you are trying to get dupes on her past that. Now, for the next weapon here, this one is actually going to be another crit weapon as well. It's a dual blades, and you do get crit chance for sliding. That is pretty good actually too. So yeah, again, that's going to be your level 60 reward, which is not too far off. And then at the level 70, you're going to be getting the Daybreak Hymn, which actually is going to be doing a bunch of multi-shot. Yeah, that's really nice. Multi-shot 37.5%. While dealing damage with this weapon, the lower the remaining ammo percentage, the higher the damage dealt. So the lower magazine capacity you got right there, the more damage you're going to be doing with this AR. And that's going to be at the level 70. And then at the level 80 here, guys, Fantasio is going to be accessible as well, But again, these are like this is like super end game at this point. Like Fantasio is not going to be acquired for most people until you really are at, you know, close to, you know, trial rank 65. You know, this is going to be one of those end game, you know, actual clears here. All right, guys, so that is pretty much all the weekly bosses right there. And what actual weekly bosses I suggest you guys do farm in general, guys. I think my main recommendation is going to be, if we talk about the actual weekly bosses themselves, I think the Psyche one where you're able to get the Thunderworm is going to be, in my opinion, a really good option. Again, that was level 70 though, so you have to bear that in mind. Now, Tebeth being from Sibil's stage and only at the level 50 is pretty accessible for a lot of people trying to get this character for, you know, farming capabilities. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to use secret letter clues for this because this is from the weekly stage. So it's not something where you're wasting your secret letter clues on getting Tebeth as a character. Tebeth is technically only attainable from this weekly mode anyway. And then also this weapon right here that we talked about, the Sacrosanct Chorus from the Sibil boss as well, is very good because it has the crit stats and multi-shot. So I think this is going to be a very strong weapon when we are getting to more closer to the end game of Duet and Abyss. So there you guys go, man. That is going to be the weekly bosses stages there, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.